This is America.
There is no question that there are problems in this country between police and community.
Yes, you are a donkey.
The latest on that police killing of a black man.
Now to new developments in the deadly spa shooting rampage.
And yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
And so we are in a state of emergency.
Okay, white supremacist violence is and always has been the number one threat to our society.
But I'm also very proud that my wife is white.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
All right, Charlamagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
Donkey of the day for Wednesday, November 5th goes to CNN's Van Jones. Now, last night, the Democrats had a good election night. They won the governor's race in Jersey, Virginia. They voted for Prop 50 in California. They retained crucial seats on the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania. House Democrats flipped 13 seats in the Virginia state legislators. And, of course, the mayoral race in New York City was won by Zohran Mandani. And that's why I have to bring Van Jones to the front of the congregation this morning, because last night Zohran gave a speech after his win, and Van Jones thought the speech was divisive. I thought the opposite. Would you like to hear some of Mandani's speech? Let's listen.
Safety and justice will go hand in hand as we work with police officers to reduce crime and create a department of community safety that tackles the mental health crisis and homelessness crises head on. We believe in standing up for those we love. Whether you are an immigrant, a member of the trans community, one of the many black women that Donald Trump has fired from a federal job, a single mom still waiting for the cost of groceries to go down, or anyone else with their back against the wall, your struggle is ours too. And we will build a city hall that stands steadfast alongside Jewish New Yorkers and does not waver in the fight against the scourge of anti-Semitism. Where the more than 1 million Muslims know that they belong, not just in the 5 boroughs of this city, but in the halls of power.
How is any of that divisive? I personally loved it. He covered all bases. He talked about working with police. He talked about, helping people with mental health issues. He talked about helping the homeless. He talked about trans people. He talked about black people, black women, Jewish people, the Muslim community. Most importantly, he spoke to the working class of all races, okay? Let people know he will be a mayor for all New Yorkers. But Van Jones didn't like that. He thought it was divisive. Van Jones had this to say. Let's listen.
I think he missed an opportunity. The Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight, and there was some other voice on stage. That said, he's very young, and he just pulled off something that's very, very difficult. And I wouldn't write him off, but I think he missed an opportunity to open himself up tonight, and I think that will probably cost him going forward.
Man, shut the F up ever, okay? Damn. There was no opportunity missed. The man just won, all right? He just won. After you won, yes, you're going to celebrate. Yes, you're going to talk loud. What do you mean he wasn't warm enough? He took a victory lap. And he deserved to take a victory lap because he won. I just don't understand how in the era of Trump, we still telling people how to talk. The language of politics is dead, and Donald Trump killed it. And you know when you can really talk that talk? After you win. All right, I listened to Zohran's whole speech, because I was trying to figure out what the hell Van could have been possibly talking about. It couldn't have been the part I just played earlier. So the only thing I could think of was the rhetoric he had for the billionaire class in Donald Trump. Let's listen.
We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks. New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant. So hear me. If we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him.
There's absolutely nothing divisive about calling out bad landlords who take advantage of tenants. Okay, there's nothing divisive about calling out billionaires who are corrupt and don't pay their fair share of taxes. Nothing wrong with calling them out, okay? An administration, all right, that is trying to implement an authoritarian strategy on America, there is nothing wrong with calling that out. There's nothing wrong with calling out capitalism, okay? There is nothing divisive about it. There was something Zohran said in his speech. He said, as has so often occurred, the billionaire class has sought to convince those making $30 an hour that their enemies are those earning $20 an hour? Oh, I love that. Okay, see, the reason a lot of things don't change in this country is because you don't have enough politicians that are willing to challenge capitalism. And Zohran is doing that. So how can Van Jones be mad that someone is challenging capitalism and authoritarian strategy? Well, I need someone way smarter than me to answer that question. Maddie, why would Van Jones call Zohran Mandani's speech divisive? Why would people say this was an angry, far-left, rage-filled victory speech?
Very hard for me to get inside of Van Jones's head, but I would remind people that Van Jones in 2017 is the guy who gave us the most famous line of the first Trump administration. Remember when Trump gave that speech in Congress? Van Jones on CNN said, "Tonight, he became president of the United States." So Van Jones thinks that Donald Trump gives unifying speeches that make him president, but thinks Zohran Mamdani, who's united a multiracial, multicultural, multi-income coalition, is divisive. That tells you more about Van Jones than it does tell you about Zohran Mamdani. I mean, Jared Kushner's pal wasn't a fan of Zohran Mamdani's anti-oligarchy, anti-Trump speech. I'm shocked.
Please give Van Jones the biggest hee-haw. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Mehdi Hasan some more.
That's right.
About everything that happened last night and all things going on in the world of politics.
That's right. So don't go anywhere. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey of the Day is sponsored by renowned personal injury attorney Michael the Bull Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey when you need a fighter on your side. If you're ever injured, go to michaelthebull.com. That's michaelthebull.com. And when you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Hold up. Every day I wake up, wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?